Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Patty. Who have we got with us today listening to the story?
Well, he was sitting on my lap the last part, and I thought I would show you. He's really enjoying the stories.
Okay, that's great. What's your cat's name again?
This is Ching.
Hi, Ching. Okay, well, Ching, this part of the pony story goes into chapter four, and he goes to a new home. And I'm so excited to hear about where this new home is because everybody seems to think it's supposed to be a great place. So let's see.
Well, he was here. He was wondering where Happy was going.
Okay, well, here we go. Ching, all alone in the trailer, Happy tried to figure out where Diane was taking him. He watched the trees zoom by. He kept an eye out for everything and anything that looked familiar. But everything was new, and once the truck pulled into a wide, smooth road, Happy realized he would never find his way back to Shoemaker's stables. Everything was passing by too quickly. Happy tried to eat some hay to keep his mind off all the changes. The hay tasted dry, but he ate it anyways. It smelled better than bitter, burnt air from the road. Happy tried to remember what his paddock smelled like on the spring morning. That memory came back easily, and then a dozen more came with it. He missed his old home already. Happy was surprised when he heard the truck's rumble slow down. The truck stopped, and he noticed that the air suddenly tasted fresher. He heard a slam, and then Diane's face appeared in the trailer window. "Well, this is it, Happy," Diane said. Her voice was bright, and she gave Happy a quick smile. "Welcome to Big Apple Farm. I hope you like it here." Happy watched as Diane headed into the back of the trailer. Big Apple Barn, he thought. That sounds kind of nice. I like apples, and the big ones are always sweet. It's a good name. Maybe this place won't be so bad after all. The trailer door swung open and Diane appeared with a lead rope. The next thing Happy knew, he was backing out of the trailer. Happy took a deep breath and looked all around, and on one side there was a white house with a short white fence. Next, Happy spotted a tall tree with a swing, but then Diane led him to the other direction. That's when Happy saw the big red barn. It was huge. Now, had he never seen anything like that before? Diane gave the rope a little light tug, and Happy followed her through the wide barn doors. This barn was nothing like Happy's simple stable back at Mrs. Shoemaker's. There was a hard, even floor under his hooves. Horses stood in wooden stalls on both sides. See?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a nice barn.
Each stall had a window with thin bars over it so the horses could see outside. As Happy followed Diane up the long path, the horses came out to the front of their stalls to look at him. Happy had never seen so many horses. His mother had told him about horses that roamed together in the wild, and she had talked about how horses lived together in large barns, each in a box with a wall on the sides. But Happy had never thought he'd see a place for himself like this. His stable at Mrs. Shoemaker's had been open to the pasture, and the wall between his and his mom's space had been short enough that they could lean over and talk. Happy had loved that. But Happy didn't mind the high walls in these stalls. Looking at all of the different horses, Happy could tell he wouldn't know what to say to them. These horses were all tall and noble, and Happy was not so sure that what they were thinking of him as they gazed down at him. Some of them snorted and looked away, and none of them said a word. As Diane led him down the aisle, Happy noticed that there were some other ponies in the barn too. They were also watching as Happy walked by. Happy thought the other ponies looked older than him. He tried to hold his head high and lift his hooves up high, but he still felt very young and very new. "Here we are," Diane announced, "your very own home." She slid open the bolt on a wooden door and unclipped the rope from Happy's halter. Then she pointed him into the dark stall. Happy stopped cold. He snorted and his ears twitched. He couldn't go in there. It was pitch black. "Go on," Diane encouraged. Happy looked at Diane and then back at the stall. All at once Diane gave him a firm pat in his hind quarters, and Happy skidded forward. He turned around as fast as he could, but Diane had already closed the door, and he felt trapped. He stepped towards the stall window and wanted to look out, but then he heard a loud slamming sound, followed by pounding footsteps. Happy bolted back into the darkness of the stall, trembling in fear. "Is he here, Mom? Can we see him?" begged a young girl's voice. "Ivy, quiet, please," Diane said. "You know not to yell in a barn." "Did you pick up the new school pony, Mom?" asked another voice. "Yes, Andrea," Diane answered, "but he's still very nervous. This is all new to him. You and your sister can look at him, but please do not go in the stall quite yet." Almost immediately, Happy saw two faces appear in the stall window. Two girls. One was tall with a helmet on, and the other had pigtails and stuck her nose between the bars. Happy realized they were her daughters that Diane had mentioned back at the shoemaker's stables. "Be careful, Ivy," the taller one scolded. "He could bite." "Oh, I don't think he'd do that," Diane reassured him. Happy was relieved. He didn't want these people thinking he would ever bite anything other than hay, grain, or grass, and alfalfa maybe, and clover, of course, and he loved the occasional apple or carrot for a treat, but he would never bite a person. It was not nice, and he could just tell that they wouldn't taste very good anyways. Then the shorter girl, Ivy, held out her hand. "Come on, come over here, boy," she said. Her voice was quieter now. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." Happy looked at the young girl's face. Even in the darkness of the stall, he could see that Ivy's eyes were soft and understanding. He took a step forward. "What's his name again?" Andrea asked the taller girl. Happy paused, waiting to hear what Diane would say. "It's Happy-Go-Lucky is his show name. I think we'll just call him Happy around the barn," Diane said. Happy was relieved that Diane had got his name right. He looked at Ivy's hand and again moved another step closer. "Yes, the name Happy will do nicely," Diane continued. "He needs a lot of practice before he'll be ready for shows anyways. He has only had one rider so far." "Wow," the taller girl said with a laugh. "He'll have a lot to learn." Happy was just about to reach out to Ivy's hand, but the tone of the other girl's voice stopped him. What did she mean? He had a lot to learn. That wasn't fair. Happy took a step away from the people and dropped his head. He suddenly had a very bad feeling about this place. He didn't seem to feel the kindness that he thought should be there in a place called Big Apple Barn. Ivy gave him one last look and pulled her hand away. "He's a beautiful pony, but he acts like he doesn't want to be here. I don't think the name Happy fits him very well." "Oh, Ivy," Diane said with a sigh, "let's not give up on him yet." Then these two girls followed her mother away, and Happy was left alone in his new home. What do you think, Patty?
I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah. How do you think he's feeling right now?
I think he's feeling a little bit sad and a little bit scared, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. Wonder what the kids are thinking about this story so far. We'd love to hear back from you all. And if you'd like to hear more about the pony story, tune in to our next episode and we'll move on to the next chapter. Bye.
Ching's enjoying it.